Hello, everybody, and welcome to Project Warvator Part 4, the next part of my indie game series. To start off, we have Leobardo the Beepsy. Leobardo the Beepsy, formerly Chad at HCS, is a character that appears in the backrooms of the lobby. He spends all his time accepting paid commissions by people to them to give them scripts, animations, posters through his website, leobardo.com. He does this because it's his way of coping with the fact that he'll never be as good as a human artist. When he's not making an AI, he's watching shows made by human artists, drinking and eating chicken wings. No, it's not KFC. He was a part of a scratch level related to art. This is art. This is because he loves so much. That's because he loves art so much, he changed his name as a homage to a famous artist. Next up is Bimo and the Star. Bimo and the Star are the final bosses and the main threats of the AI Madness level. They are basically stalkers and murderers. They spend most of the level stalking the player up until the end where they reveal themselves. They're both also absolutely unhinged. Now we have Bimo's clones. They are the secondary threats of the AI Madness level. They're creations made by Bimo and the Star to attack the player. They're made out of Philly, Demo, Kippy, Pippi, Tino, Orange Bimo, and Billy. Oh, and here are the source images I made when creating Bimo and some of his clones. Please look up Bimo clones and you'll find the sources of the other clones. Next up, we have a character that originally came from the 1998 Powerpuff Girls series, from the infamous Town and Out. This is the mayor of Citiesville, aka Tom. Being the opposite of the mayor of Townsville, Tom is more competent and strict, as well as taking his position seriously, very seriously, to the point where when the Powerpuff Girls accidentally blow up the Citiesville Bridge, they decided to ban superpowers, which is aggressive but not cool. Though it is understandable, but it runs the risk of them getting hurt. He serves as the main antagonist of the Town and Out level, where he arrests the Powerpuff Girls for the exact same reason in the episode he appears in. However, instead of them just leaving, it goes in a different direction. So the player resorts to avenge the girls by destroying Citiesville and attacking the cops and cruel citizens. This leads to you confronting the mayor himself in his office, where you defeat the mayor and free the girls. Because you see, the mayor, instead of banning the powers, arrested them. Anyways, after you beat the mayor and free the girls, you have to escape a burning Citiesville. Yeah, and as you can tell, this is for you, all Powerpuff Girls fans. If you hate Town Out, this level is made for you. And this is the image I used for reference when making Tom. Alright, now we have a character originally from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends in Bendy. Bendy is a troublemaker that has a habit of framing people for his misdeeds. In the Project Warvator level, everybody knows and loves Bendy. You have to go into stealth mode so you can take photographs of Bendy committing troublemaking deeds. If Bendy catches you, he starts to chase you. He uses his baseballs to slow down the player. When Bendy catches the player, he steals the evidence and breaks the camera. Next up, we have the KFC Bucket of Comfort, Reassurance, and Security, or the KFC Bucket for short. And the Rocket Lobster, if you're watching this, please know. I had to, man. I had to. The KFC Bucket is a bucket with googly eyes that's possessed by a ghost of an unknown entity. It has the power in order to manipulate people by making them into KFC addicts, which will result in them making a call to worship the KFC bucket. In fact, the urges of KFC addiction as well as KFC profits increasing because of the KFC bucket's influence. The KFC bucket is also the leader of the cult, where he guides his followers. When someone denies the KFC bucket, it's over. As the reveal its true form, transforming into a beast of absolute horror. Fun fact: I got an inspiration from I Use Myself's YTP's KFC saga and the Stanley Parable's Reassurance bucket, specifically the lore. And here are the KFC bucket's minions. They're people who follow the KFC bucket's orders. So, we have Shrek, Woody, Eric Cartman, Twilight Sparkle, and your boy Dougie. Now we have Sako Taro. And yeah, Sako goes description is now scrapped. And I would just say he's a glitched on BP employee in disguise. He's because glitched on BP has the KFC bucket in their pockets. Oh, and you see, these are cereal bombs. KFC bombs. KFC bombs. They're that, and which will be, when thrown, will stun the player. And as you can see, that's a sketch of the KFC bucket's true form. Oh, and I added even more horror minions for the KFC bucket. The new ones are made out of Pomni, which is actually a disguised CM employee, Uzi, another disguised CM employee, girlfriend, and not actual size. As you can tell, I had to write so small on that. SpongeBob, Maya to be Barney, and Peter Sam. Alright, now we have enemies in the DDD level. And if you heard about the DDD before, then you know what they are. First up, we have the basic FGs. They basically charge at the player and attack them when they get close. Here's a quick fun fact. In true form, FGs are genderless. So, they go by gender of the person they choose as their vessel. And another one are the spirit FGs. They float in the air, but when they see the player, they lunge themselves at the player, attempting to kill them. Fake playbots. They almost look exactly like a playbot. I said almost because you can see minor differences is to make sure it doesn't get confusing. So basically they blend in, and when they get caught, they try to get ya. Yeah. These fake playbots are also equipped with a cam, and they use it to spy on a player, which they'll take advantage of when that player is gone to blend in. There's also the tweaking boss Ghost. He follows the player around using triggering traps. They're made out of which are basically security systems made by the DDD. And these security systems that the DDD makes, that the tweaking boss Ghost possesses, are a gun, a TV with spikes on the bottom to crush ya, an outlet, and a CM robot. Fake PMs. They have the power to shoot skin-eating blood at the player. AI Shreks. They can release power slams that can release mini AI Shreks. They also have the temporary turn the player into AI, a power that the AI hams have. And as you can see, that is a mini AI Shrek. AI hams. They open their bellies to release a bomb cannon / laser that turns you into an AI. And like I said, in the AI Shreks, that power is temporary because you don't permanently stay as an AI. The Memezowski brothers. The Memezowski bros roll into a ball to run the player over, and they can also shoot cringe lasers. And the final and the The final enemy in it are DDED members. DDD members are recurring enemies through the minigame, because of fake play bots. Because of the fake play bots, they get Sonic Adventure 2 syndrome and try to attack the real players. Erdua. Erdua is the creator of Audria. She wanted her to help herself achieve her goals in killing quality content, with the first one being the indie rhythm game Friday Night Funkin'. She did this by sending her assistant and husband Elims to catch BF and GF. She owns a company called ModOdd. It's a stereotypical greedy American corporation. You basically encounter Erdua in the Mod level, where you got to attack a lot of BF and GF clones, and you encounter her there, facing off her and Elims at the end, as the player has to do a rap battle to save BF and GF from her and Elims. Now we have enemies in the Hishi level, and Hishi means how it should have ended. Now, How It Should Have Ended is a YouTube channel that makes movie parodies. Basically, how the movie should have actually ended. Hence the name, How It Should Have Ended. Anyways, we have the main villains of the level. Hishi Black Widow and Hishi Adana. And the design I got for Hishi Black Widow is the How Iron Man 2 Should Have Ended video. Anyways, Hishi Black Widow is another one of those FGs, and the ex-wife of the tweaking boss. And Hishi Odana, another FG, is her current wife. They're the leaders of They're the leaders of the Hishi Girls, a group of FG that take the forms of females from Hishi. Now let's start with Hishi Black Widow, those powers. High physical combat, using a computer to hack electronics, including a playbot, seduction, unleashing a lot of guns, and blasting her enemies. Have Hishi Adana's powers, teleportation, shouting, "Not everything has to be about you," at the player, and finally, laser beams. Alright, now let's move on to the level's enemies. We have Hishi Peppers. They basically can survive fires and has the power to shoot lasers, fire, and electricity from the robot arm. And as you can tell, this took the form of Tony Stark's girlfriend, Pepper. Sucks for you, Tony. Moving on, we have a mini-boss in Hishi Mad Max Peach. She can turn reality into a Mad Max-style arena. She also is the second in command of the Hishi Girls. Wrapping up the enemies of the level, we have Hishi Captain Marvels. They have the ability to release energy blasts from the hands. Up next, we have enemies in the level, the Furaku Gunengu fight. Now, here's something to point out. Remember the DDD level? Three enemies from that level are back. Those enemies are the basic FGs, Spirit FGs, and Playboy Imposters. Yeah, they're back. And I paired up with a couple of new special enemies. We have Husk number 3's FG form prototype J number 3 from Enraged. Abilities: aggressive behavior and lasers from the mouth. Now, the CY Cines, meaning Sir Yaluzel Cines. And these FG forms are Sin from a taco short and a Reddit post related to Enraged Sin. Their abilities are crawling around fastly, teleportation, and jumping at the player near Foxy jump scare style. Now we have Possessed Pomnies, and the FG form of this case is Pomni during the famous "How's your wife, Gaynor?" scene. And the abilities are launching souls from the mouth. And as you can see from above, those are the souls she fires. And Here's now the last enemy are bootleg knees. And the FG form are bootleg plush is a bootleg plush of Pomni. The abilities are brainwashing people into doing when it's bidding, turning people into bootleg plushies, and summoning other TADC bootleg plushies to do their bidding. And now we have the bootleg knee minions, which are the minions that bootleg knee summons to do their bidding. When you attack them, they're stunned for 10 seconds. In order to kill them, you need to kill the original bootleg knee that made them. And their FG forms are more or TADC bootleg plushies. Alright, now we have some bosses of the level. First we have Majax. And Majax is one of the two guardians of the FG nest. And the FG form Jax during the softball segment of episode 5 Untitled. Abilities: Extreme Anger, unleashing a vacuum cleaner, Hydra, releasing a soak gun that he uses to shoot, and trying to run over the player with a sponge. Next, we have Raglichva. FG form, Raglichva during the second half of the TADC pilot. Roll the other guardian of the FG Nest Core. Abilities: a last ability, glitch manipulation, infecting players, and firing black goo from her hands. If you guys can't tell by all the glitch theming, that's because the FG fight is a major level in this CM subplot, because this subplot intersects with the A plot. Alright, if you're a fan of the Stanley Parable, then you're gonna love this one, because this level is a tribute to the Stanley Parable. Well, now let's go over the characters in the Stanley Parable Project Warvator level. Now, for this, we have Stanley and the narrator. Depending on the ending you choose, Stanley and the narrator can act as the deuteragonist, antagonist, neutral force, or friends, because just like the game they come from, the Stanley Parable, the level they star in has multiple endings, including ones with the bucket. And here are the endings in the level. You gotta do everything as we have Player of the Year of the Decade. Do everything as you're told. Tick-tock, more like tick-not. Stop the countdown. One night at the Stanley Parable Museum. Survive the night shift. Screwed. Push Stanley and the narrator to their limits. Dunce failed the tutorial to the point of causing insanity for Stanley and the narrator. Skip button. Press the skip button so much to where the office decays. Figlies. Collect all Figlies in tutorial. And the last, and the Absolute Cinema. Go up and down the elevator. They're in the boss's office. Yes. Now, I was originally gonna like to go up and down the elevator and run the tutorial, but that just felt like a waste. Next up is a drawing I have for the Reassurance Buckets monster farm. Oh, and there's a little sketch I made. Look, stupid PM. And now we have the Reassurance Bucket. An ancient beast that was transformed into a bucket for stealing from one of the treasured vaults of Gamborata the Wizard for cheating death. Once one player touches it, it multiplies itself. It also has the power to manipulate people, like to make them do what they say, and just like the original, the bucket affects X endings. The only endings you can't get with the bucket are the Player of the Decade and Figlies. This ending has its own sub-ending. However, I should point this out, the Figlies ending has its own sub-ending called the Serious Room. And now it's time for the reassurance bucket endings. The tick-tock more like tick-knock ending with the bucket, aka the ritual ending. Summon Gambarata to defeat the bucket. One night at the Stanley Parable Museum with the bucket ending, aka the treasured vault ending. Rob the vault of Gambarata and free the beast from its bucket vessel. Screwed ending with the bucket, aka the Bucketzilla ending. Get into a chase is culminating in an illusion and taking the choice in fighting or running from the bucket. The soup edit. Now we have the soup up the skip button ending. Now we have the skip button ending with the bucket, aka the comedic insanity ending. And this ending combines two endings, the confusion ending and the comedic timing ending. Keep pressing the skip button and go through a lot of madness. Next up, we have the Now we have the Dunce ending with the bucket, aka the Bucket Destroyer ending. Keep sucking at the tutorial and you'll get the illusion to destroying in your bucket or getting in a chase with a bucket destroyer before fighting it. And lastly, we have the Absolute Cinema ending with the bucket, aka the rehab ending. Keep going up and down the elevator in the boss's office, and the bucket becomes a number 8 addict. Alright, now this one is the identity of the beast inside of the bucket, the essence of divine art. The character that is identified as the warlord that's been trapped inside the bucket for stealing from Gambarata. Wanna know why? Look up this. It is a YouTube link. And get to the link. It leads to a Fury video by Noah Butler about the Stanley Parable. And when you do that, get to the part where Noah Butler compares the essence of divine art and the bucket. Oh, here's a quick one. When you get at all the endings, both with and without the bucket, you unlock the bucket.mvp ending. You battle the essence of divine art after he's freed by CM. As a result, you have to collect the 12 emblems of sages and figure out the incantations to summon their true power. You also have to find pieces of a spell to contain the essence of divine art into a bucket form. While you're doing that, you have to dodge CM and her team/friends, as you have to not get murdered. Now we have butt kickers, monsters created by the bucket that worship him as their god. They're the secondary threats of the ritual ending, the Bucketzilla ending, and the bucket.mvp ending. They constantly bombard the player as well as trying to kill them, of course. Now we have Gambarata, the wizard that traps the essence of divine art in the bucket. Gambarata is an entity that influences the world into doing good and resides in his profaned vault. He's also against cheating, like what he did to the tape guy and the bucket. Plus, Gambarata has some minions, and these minions guard the profaned vault but can easily be attacked by the player. The 8th game. The 8th game is a major villain in the Stanley Parable level, serving as the villain of the one night at the Stanley Parable Museum ending. It starts off as one of the many mini games you can do in the tutorial before you see it again in the museum, where the female narrator hires you to work as a guard for tonight. As you are doing tasks, the 8th game transforms into a blood-hungry beast, and you have to complete your tasks, ending in your shift, and leave. Alright, now we have enemies in the vault ending. Aside from Gambarata's minions, first up we have the two handles bucket, possessed by a FG ghost that tried to replace Gambarata. Powers brainwashing and turning their victims into bucket handles. now we have the Inferno Bucket. Possessed by the medieval cataclysmic dragon in Drago Bloodlust for trying to cheat capture powers. Flight by sprouting wings and breathing fire. The Stress Bucket. Possessed by a stress-causing succubus called Marla for trying to cheat her way out of punishment and using stress powers. Releasing acid from the faucet and causing anxiety to the player nearby. And lastly, we have the Tape Man. The Tape Man has been trapped in the recorder by Gambarata for using a bucket for money. He spends the vault level ending in luring you into his trap. Next, we have enemies in the One Night at the Stanley Parable Museum ending. Aside from the 8 button, the first cities is the Watching Man or A Man, and he stands in a random spot, and when he spots the player, he starts to follow them. When he catches you, he gets to kill you. To avoid and surviving, keep looking at him, and pass him onto another player, or dodge his attack. Mini stands and / figlies or standlerines, etc. They basically slowly creep up and trying to catch the player, but they can be stopped up if you look at them, or just straight up attacking them. And now we have users. When they see you, they alert the 8 game or shoot thumbs downs. They're made out of Bug Olivia, Noodle Shaft, Raphael, Cookie 9, in Spunky Monkey 2697, and Motoring Guy I-76. All these are enemies you have to avoid while completing your tasks or you get revenge on them by doing tasks where you have to fix anomalies, including the 8th game. Next up, we have the Bucket Destroyer. The Bucket Destroyer is the villain of the ending with the same name / dunce ending with the bucket. If the player feeds it their bucket in Path 1, it becomes a cannibalistic monster, resulting in you completing puzzles while avoiding it, culminating in a chase to the escape pod. If you are fused using Path 1, you'll get into an intense boss battle with the Bucket Destroyer. Next up, we have the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. The Adventure Line, just like Stanley and the narrator, can act as a friend or foe depending on the ending. And this is a remote version of the line in the One Night at the Stanley Parable Museum ending, which is used to find the location of your tasks. And alright, then next up we have the Skip button, the main villain of the Skip ending, where after you press S the button, sending you years into the future, where the office became a wasteland of its former self. You have to find a way out while avoiding the skip button, who turns out to be an obsessive monster who will get rid of Stanley the narrator just for the player. Why? Because it's lonely. Without our company, it has nothing. And that is the skip button's monster form. Now we have the others, consisting of the broom closet, Stanley's laptop, employee for free to use pencil sharpener, the baby game baby, the jump circle, the name button, Stanley's wife, the fern, and the mostly infinite hole. Oh. The others appear in the tutorial of the level, as well as serving supporting characters in the Bucket Destroyer ending. Path by feeding the Bucket Destroyer. You have to complete tasks and puzzles and mini games to progress. Yes, which are themed around them. Disobeying the narrator, they help the Bucket Destroyer to destroy the bucket, which it is what you're carrying. Now it's time for a lightning round. Starting off the lightning round, we have the corrupted Stanlerines. The main villains of the Figley's ending. They're basically corrupt Stanlerines. Where after you scramble with somebody in the memory zone, it starts to go haywire, sending all these corrupted Stanlerines after you as you have to run back to where you came. Now you have the Dunce Hat of Death. The Dunce Hat of Death is the main antagonist of the Dunce ending. He is a robot Dunce Hat that will murder players that are so bad at following directions that they can't even get at the tutorial right. And finally, we have the Curator. The Curator is the female version of the narrator. She views art as the magnum opus of people's true selves. Roles: getting you prepared for your night shift in the one night at the Stanley Parable Museum ending, narrating the narrator's descent into madness, the comedic insanity ending, and the secondary antagonist of the Bucket.MVP ending. Alright, now the second to last character in it is an addition to the one night at the Stanley Parable Museum ending in the Confusion ending schedule. Its mechanic, it crawls around on the map and blocks your path for 2 minutes. And finally, wrapping it up, we have the settings person. Formerly employee 432, the settings person and was an employee he at the company before or becoming aware that he's in a game. After snapping, transcending, and becoming in the settings person, the setting person now works for Gamblrata. Reference to Noah Butler's video on the Stanley Parable. Yeah, as you can see, this thing is, these controls are kind of confusing. So, here's how I keep it simple. I use WASD to move your character around. And click them out. Click the space bar if you want to jump. You can also left click. And you might be thinking and click and press the C button to crouch. And you might be thinking, how do I grab items? It's simple. Just click the left mouse button. And for the final wait a minute, I remember. For the weapons, to activate weapons, just press F as in for fire, like you're firing a gun, and to shoot and to use your weapons, just shoot. Just click the right, click the mouse on the right side. And to pause, just press the P button. Because, P also means pause. Next up is Sonic.exe, the creepypasta that started it all. Even though his original creepypasta is poorly written with a bad premise made by a perverted person, this hellish monster with a clearly bad design lives on. In his Project Warvator level, which is the same one you face horror Mario, the player engages in an intense battle with Sonic.exe and Horror Mario. Alright, now we have others in the MX versus EXE level. We have the ghosts. They guide the player where to go. They may have Tails, Toad, Knuckles, Luigi, and Robotnik. Next we have Metal Sonic, Peach.exe, and Yoshi.exe. They're basically mini bosses you fight in the level. And lastly, we have GX and BX. Next up, we have Whimsical Happy. Whimsical Happy is a recurring villain in Project Warvator. He's a chaotic and comedically insane man that will go to insane lengths just to make people all smile. These range from laughing gas to a gun that gives you permanent smile syndrome, mind control soda, the happy helmets, and a tickle machine. Behold! CM's official redesign! And if that's not crazy enough, and don't worry, I'll take care of the original design is taken care of. CM's final form official redesign! Behold, the CM guards, aka the guards of CM, aka the executive, the Glitch.MVP executives. For the first of these guardians as .MVP executives, we have PM. Her powers are her shape-shifting and blending into the background / brainwashing. And non levels related to it, PM can be, you might catch PM's spine on a player's ears, and she also serves as the main villain of the Blackout level. Plus, she's also the one. When it comes to .MPP roles, the chief of customer relations, which basically allows those employees to get high off of rebellers. Next up, we have Zien. Zien is basically another major villain. And Zien's powers are basically weaponry, like a disassembly drone, and all. So basically, all weapons that disassembly drones have, and all absolute solar powers, as well as flight, of course. On CM levels, you might catch her stalking the player. You might catch her stalking people, as well as attempting to murder them. And she basically became the new main villain of the warehouse level, with zero designation U being pulled back into a major. And as her role in Glitch.MVP, she is in charge of the mining of the chunks. Up next, we have Gwenos. Gwenos' powers are technology control, facility control, and charismatic manipulation. And her role as a major villain is that in non-CM levels, she is using Gwen cams to spy on the player by dropping Turriviers, and the main villain of the Drongo level. Her role in Glitch.MVP is a laboratory overseer, as she runs her laboratory that is a subsidiary of Glitch.MVP called Gwenos Labs. The next ex-Guardian / .MVP executive is Mal. And Mal's role in .MVP is the chief in charge of slave labor. And her powers are see-through signatures, basically means she can see through signatures that she wrote on walls. She can even summon these monsters called gun critters from her eyes and breathe bullets. And in non-CM levels, she once again uses those signatures she wrote to spy on the player, as well as and using the other two powers for attempted assassination. She She also serves as a secondary villain of the Kane level. Next up, we have Magario Real 4, or powers, expanding body parts, brainwashing people, but with mind control hats with his mind control hat breath, shooting spaghetti webs, electricity volts, and ink splats from his body. And he'll basically, and how does he attack in non-CM levels? Well, he'll just pop out, been in random levels, charging at the player rush from door style. He also serves as a secondary villain in the Glax level. And as for his role in Glitched MVP, well, you see, he's the chief in charge of Plushable mining, of Plushable hunting. And overall, the CM guards are guards CM created to try and murder the player, yours, so she can escape to the real world. And yeah, as you can tell, that whole backstory is now pretty much scrapped. Because when you take a good look at it, it feels so convoluted. Now, where was I? Yes. So, the glitched MVP East, or LL, hold the new description for them. They are Garcia made, made a to basically protect her. So basically, if you intend to kill her, you gotta take out her big players, and CM's and her guardians are literally her biggest players. Now we have the Turreviers. Turreviers are murderous military androids that work for Gwenos. We have the full body Turrevier. It stands in one place, locating the player. And finding the player, it tries to hunt them down like an animal. Now we have the Unclop Turreviers. It pops out of the ground and then searches for the player. When it finds them, it starts shooting lasers at them. The bomb clock Turreviers. It's basically a bomb. When you touch it, it basically blows up. Next up, we have Gun Critters. Gun Critters are the monsters that come out of Mal's eyes. They basically run around rapidly shooting at random. That and the corrupted properties of the .mvp files are causing them to suffer. So yeah, if you kill them, you'll put them out of their misery. Now we have some recurring enemies in all CM horror glitch levels. And as for the description, I'm making previous Bible entries where I say enemies that are in horror glitch levels, level exclusives. Yeah, I wouldn't call them level exclusives. I feel like a better name would be special enemies, not level exclusives, because as you can tell, they might reappear. They'll probably reappear at some point. Anyways, we have MVP globs, and yeah, that, as you can tell, those are pretty that description about them is pretty convoluted. I'll just say that they're MB glob. The MB globs are basically monsters made by CM. Anyways, as for the globs, we got they're made out of 4 types of these types of globs. They're made out of hangers, punchers, puckers, and crawlers. Now we have the corrupted copies. Direct and destroyed and corrupted copies after CM's takeover of Glitch. In it, the copies are now being controlled by CM. They basically now have violent behavior. They basically stand in one place rambling quotes that were previously said. When they see the player, they start charging at them. So basically, they basically act like the puppets from My Friendly Neighborhood. Anyways, here's more concept art of these corrupted copies. Oh, and hey, that is a new guard I made for CM. The Rock.cc. He powers holding and breathing fire, deception, turning his body parts into guns and molotov of cocktails and knives. And his role all the non-CM levels are dropping higher than Molotov cocktails in random levels, and his role, and he's the main villain of the Zoonamable or attack level. Oh, and in order, which is a new level I came up with, that was for a different level I made up with. Oh, and his role in Glitched IVP is the chief in charge of training. Oh, and this update is a new level in the CM storyline, Creator's Passwork, where you end up exploring the now taken over past of creators before they started working at Glitch. Next up, we have the CM clones, or the clones of CM. Clones of CM are the failed and deformed clones of CM, because they have extremely low intelligence and additional no missing limbs and deformed areas and other or more obvious parts. They were made by one of CM's now deceased guards, JC. CM's version of JA. JC was one of her most faithful guards, and one of her best, as you know, for her standard, and for her standards, most respected. Because being her most respected is like saying in getting a student getting a D minus. It's in a class where it's on a test when all the others got a double F minus. Yes, until the player intervenes with her lab, leading to her death. They are the other recurring enemies that are showing up after the level where you kill LJC. Oh, and there's more or CM clone sketches is on the other, and here they are. Each of these CM clones have unique mechanics. First off, we have the Big Lipped CM, which was the first one on the previous side of the page. It throws up a chainsaw and attacks the player. We have Mao of Esther at CMs. They do this. They attack the player via Yoshi style, so by releasing a ton on to swallow them. We have face launching CMs. What the name implies, big feet eat CMs, shooting her finger nails and spike things on the clothes at the player. Here, and power or stomps and power stomps. Next, there's null CMs, solver lasers, and finally, headless CMs. To attack you, they shoot severed CM limbs and several of those MVP globs. And now we have JC. Okay, as you can tell, JC, that his whole description is now scratched because I have a new one planned. Anyways, we have Phil's, but the level where she's the main villain in, Phil Sakarabots, is still unscrapped. So here it is. Here's JC's new one. So I'm pretty sure if you've seen the first one, and you would know all about JC, her past, her origins, and how she became CM's only servant, which resulted in her becoming an EGOT. To JC's ego going haywire. But here's some new stuff I should point out. Well, after CM successfully taken over Glitch, JC was still being cocky as ever. So while CM was busy making on the new Guardians, she got an idea. She would make the new Guardians to just pretend and to that they're taking JC seriously when they're not. So that way way, when she's no longer needed, they will all reveal to it, so she would break down. But man, all in the while, JC was still being in egotistical, all as ever. Yeah, big ego. Oh, and fat her ego, and fat. It got to the point where people pretend would literally. Okay, I'm pretty sure you get it. Edit. And what I'm trying to say, everybody, this CM basically got it, all the orders to pretend to take her seriously when clearly her ego is holding her back. Okay, do we all got that? Okay. Now, anyways, is the lower is JC slowly started to catch on what's going on, and she tried to prove it by once again trying to remake some CM clones. But on the condition she has Dr. Kid work for her. However, as expected, it backfired. Anyways, let's move on. And now another guy that's a chip employee. We have at Warvator, or a television of virtual reality, or Ataver is a receptionist and secretary for Chipper and the other hosts. He also does the tutorial for players who join for the first time. He also helps out if you want to go back to the tutorial. Now we have Phylissa. Phylissa is the wife of the now deceased Phil and wife of the current CEO of Phil Sakurabots. She works as the secretary, and when JC is invading, she helps you kill JC and shut down the Sakurabots so she can take over the company and undo the current CEO's wrongdoings. What is this all for? Phil Sakurabots. Or who's the current CEO? Oh, Tommy Lamy. And if you've seen the first one, then you know who Tommy Lamy is. And now we have the Sakurabots. The Sakurabots are the titular threats of the Phil Sakurabots level. They basically became corrupted after Tommy Lamy took over the company. They went from safe booby trap apps that report crooks to cops, up to psychotic genocidal machines. They each have their own mechanics. The first of these are shredders. The shredders turns his hands into chainsaws and starts crashing into the player. The next ones are the smash-offense. It shoots mercury from the nose and tiny anvils from and safes is from the ears and cannon tail. Now the Deocotrons using her accordion arm to punch the player, shooting eye bombs and making killer balloon animals to get animals. Spy droids. They use rails to get around, and if they catch you, they'll start shooting acid. The killer balloon animals. They are animals that are summoned by the Deocotrons. They also serve as a way to kill the Sakurabots. If you attack the balloon animals, they pop into a missile and they fly at a nearby Sakurabot and blows it up. Next up, we have Stanley Afton and his co-worker Robbie P. Robot co-worker, I mean. Stanley was a robot fan, specifically the security kind. When he grew up, he got a job at Phil Sakurabots. He became employee 427. Next door is his co-worker Robbie. They would chat with each other and do cute stuff. But when Tommy took over the company, they seemed alright with him. But when they start to get suspicious feelings about Tommy, they started to keep digging. But when they found out that Tommy was working with JC, they had to escape. Ape. While they hide from Tommy, JC, and the Securabots, they drank the Diamond BP sludge and got corrupted. You learn about their story through audio logs, concluding with the player meeting them in the flesh in a crazy boss battle. And now we have Filler Guy. Filler Guy is another one of those FGs, and the form this one takes is Brooklyn Guy from SML during Brooklyn Guy's depression. But instead of replacing Brooklyn Guy, this FG took advantage of how many identical brothers Brooklyn Guy has and blend in. It's capable of distorting reality into crappy Nintendo animations and cloning people. Well, it can also drive people insane by rambling on about Jimmy Butler and his coffee company and crappy, pointless stories. It has 2 armies of FGs, coffee plushlers, and crazy boogers. He's also the main villain in the SML level. So we start off with now let's move on to the Filler Guy's armies, starting with the coffee plushlers. The FG forms these ones take are SML's version of Jimmy Butler. The powers were big face coffee bombs that they shoot from the nose, shooting coffee and spawning in a basketball, and spawning basketballs before throwing it. Now we have crazy boogers. And the FG forums are Brooklyn Guy's imaginary friend, the booger. Powers: turning invisible and visible, poisonous wet willies, and spawning guns out of thin air. Alright, now there are other enemies in the SML level. One of them are the Brooklyn Guy brother clones. These are clones of the identical Brooklyn Guy brothers that Filler Guy created for his third army. An army of clones. These are major threats in the SML level. These include Does Evil Things Guy from an FNF mod. Attacks, chainsaw flinging and supercharging at the player. Does War Crimes Guy, shooting missiles when spotted. Does Bad Things Guy, attacks, throwing knives, chainsaws, axes, and saw blades. Makes Bad Decisions Guy, attacks, charging at the player when spotted. Is secretly a vampire guy. Attacks, lunging towards the player so he can bite you. Now we have the real Brooklyn Guy and Simmons. Brooklyn Guy and Simmons are the protagonists of the SML level. They help guide you through Filler Guy's lair until you get the choice to kill Jonathan and Barbara. Jonathan is Brooklyn Guy's brother, and Barbara is Brooklyn Guy's mom, by the way. Killing Jonathan and Barbara, Brooklyn Guy stays helping with you while Simmons betrays you. Saving Jonathan and Barbara, Simmons stays helping while Brooklyn Guy betrays you. Saving and killing Jonathan and Barbara, they both betray you, and the person filling in for the guide, it is Officer Cuddlesworth. That's him. Oh, and the other characters that aren't important but still make good cameos: Marvin, Rose, Jeffy, Jr., Cody, Joseph, Logan, Elaine, Pooby, Lance, Lavelle, Goodman, and the Chief, and Karen. Up next, we have Microwavy. Microwavy is another chip employee. He is an AI smart microwave made by the now defunct Smart Appliances, is serving as a prototype. You'll learn more about Smart Appliances in the Bible for the demo. He serves as the operator for the elevators that can be summoned when someone says something about being been about slash related to cooking. He also loves soft drinks to the point of marrying them. Fun fact, he's inspired by Tally from South Park. That, and he's 20 years old in microwave years. The Swimming Costume Family. The Swimming Costume Family are a group of FGs that take the form of the pig family from Peppa Pig. Family members: Daddy Swimming Costume, Mommy Swimming Costume, Peppa Swimming Costume, and George Swimming Costume. And their main villain role, the Windy Castle level. Powers: DCESC power slamming with his belly and sucking things up his mouth via vacuum. MSC same powers as DSC. PSC tantrums that can cause earthquakes. Summon entities to do her bidding. And GESC cry waves that can disintegrate anything. And summoning Mr. Dinosaurs to do his bidding. Next up, we have the United Ocean Care CEO, Brian Piranha. Brian Piranha is the corrupt CEO of United Ocean Care. UOC is an insurance company that's supposed to insure fishes who are sick from the pollution in the oceans. It's also supposed to help removal of said pollution from the oceans. If the company wasn't effing greedy. Yeah, UOC is basically your stereotypical profit over for cause corporation. They have loads of false healthcare claims that cause a lot of lawsuits. Their greed it ends up leading into a lot of deaths. They implement AI to deny claims, toss factory sludge into the ocean, as well as trash. He's also responsible for a lot of Brian is also responsible for a lot of sludge monsters, and the work environment is toxic. Work hours long, harassment from executives, and minimum wage of 1 cent. Fishy Mangiani. She's a highly respected college graduate and son of a famous millionaire and lawyer, Finland Mangione, who's his father. But his father had a severe cause of pollution sickness. After his dad died from a false deny claim from UOC, Fishy plans to avenge his dad by killing UOC's CEO. Sludgers. These are enemies in the UOC level. Attacks, shooting trash and sludge. And the other UOC level enemy, he's our fish.AIs. They attack by shooting lasers and missiles. And finally, we have the Rocker Lobs. He's a solar survivor of a resistance group with the goal to take the KFC bucket down and everything else they despise. He appears in the KFC bucket level and the Windy Castle level. The End by Cash.